welcome back to the Starving Artist Development Podcast, where we talk to cultural artists and how they are using their creativity to move their city forward. I am your host, Gabrielle Caruthers. Today, I am joined by three beautiful women who are getting ready to write, produce, act, and film a very short film called My Mother's Daughter, and I want to make sure I'm saying that correct. And these lovely young ladies, we came across each other just by happenstance, and I am super excited about their project that they're working on. And I want to introduce them and allow them to come on the Starving Artist Development Podcast and to get to know them and for them to share their up and coming short film. Normally, we work with a lot of the artists in Detroit, but I'm excited to be welcoming what we call the out of towners. So, welcome, my out of towners. It is such a pleasure to be talking to you all. Today, we have Miss Lourvey. Lourvey is one of the writers, she's also an actress and producer. We have Gigi, who is also one of the producers. And then we have Virginia, who is one of the directors and producer as well. So, welcome to the Starving Artist Development Podcast. How are you all doing this evening?
Fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing well. I know we're on different time stamps. It's 6 p.m. here in the D and it's 3 p.m. And I've been out that way before, and man, that 3 hour time change tore my sleep up one time. But I definitely have to get out and visit Cali. I haven't been out to Cali yet, but I have some people out in Cali and they tell me how much they love it. So I want to dive in and just talk about what you all are working on. Again, I'm excited to be learning about this project and to just, break bread with you all. So, Lori, you can go first. Let us know, what is your position in this project and what inspired you to create this project?
Well, the short film is entitled My Mother's Daughter, and it's a short film that's pretty much me paying homage to adoptees, people who have been adopted, people who have adopted, and kind of following the story of a young woman who just recently found out that she was adopted. She's almost 30 years old at this point and found out the year before she was adopted. She goes and seeks the help of a reality television series to reach out to her biological family and kind of get the answers and pieces to the puzzles that she's missing. And so the film kind of touches on that, and we kind of touch base on, you know, the point of the mother and the point of the daughter, and we kind of create a space for both of them to become vulnerable with each other and with themselves, and to kind of learn more about why this happened and where we go from there.
Wow, that is amazing. I was definitely reading a little bit more about the story, and I I have experience with knowing people that were adopted. I have several friends that were adopted, and they've shared some intimate stories with me about that process, especially when it came to actually seeking their biological parents and just that overall process. As a matter of fact, I was talking to one of my dear friends the other day about that, and unfortunately, all three of her parents passed away. So she's, navigating a new reality, losing her adopted parents as well as her biological father. But her story, is interesting too. And what you all are doing, I think, is really dope that you're providing a platform, especially a platform that we don't hear about a lot. So these stories are really important to highlight, and it will help other people going through these type of situations navigate a little bit better, and they'll also feel seen as well. So Gigi, I know you're a part of this project as well. So can you tell me a little bit more about your role in this project?
So I'm a producer, and I'm very happy that we connected. And it was like perfect timing, and I really fall in love with the story, and I really love meaningful stories. Also, it's like I do like our dynamics. in the team. Like everybody has a very different character, and I feel like we're really like a puzzle pieces that like we really need this piece to able to complete the picture, but we
Yeah.
have different way of operating, which creates the perfect team. Because if everyone is the same, then one part is always missing, right? And then also like we are all very conscious about like the emotional truth about this project, that like whatever we are trying to create, we pay attention that what's the really core of the story, and how people can actually find themselves, like the internal recognition.
Wow. Yeah, that's deep. That's very deep. And Virginia with the amazing wallpaper. I must add, I really love your wallpaper in the back. So I know you act as one of the producers as well as the director. How is it stepping into this role, not just as a producer but as a director?
I mean, for me, me and Lourvey, we've been friends for a while. So when she said she wanted to do this script, I jumped on automatically. I was like, all right, let's do it. 12 pages, we got this. I read the script and I love the story. I don't particularly do drama myself. I normally go another genre, but I love drama. So I read it, it resonated with me. I'm a product of, not knowing my father. I've had people in my family that's been adopted, so I know those roads and that navigation, those ebbs and flow. So I was just like, I'm in. I want to see how this plays out on screen, from the emotional, the whole emotional roller coaster that these people go through, even down to the host of the show. He has his own emotional story that resonates within the whole story. So I'm excited to do it. So, and this will be my first official directing project.
Well, congratulations. Oh my gosh, that is awesome. I must say your story it resonates with me, Virginia, because I have a sibling who is my sibling on my mother's side, but she never had a relationship with her biological father. Um and it wasn't until as of recent she officially made contact with her biological father. My father actually adopted my sister. And that process was very interesting, over the past 20, 30, no, well, 30 something years, because I'm 36, she's 47. Without giving too much of her personal story away, I know for her navigating, actually trying to establish a relationship with her other sibling that we don't necessarily talk to, and it's not for like any personal reason, but while also trying to establish a relationship with her biological father, and just what she went through navigating that process. I can definitely attest when I say that is probably the closest I will get to knowing somebody who is so close to me that was, adopted in so many words, and just knowing their experience and how to navigate that process. I know it was very difficult for my sister for a while. So this story, I'm excited to share this story with her when you guys wrap up the film, and I think it will definitely be of comfort, to her as well. So I want to dive into a couple of questions. So I know the film was inspired by a true story. So how did you navigate the responsibility of honoring the truth while also shaping it into a cinematic experience? Laura Vay, would you like to answer this question?
Sure. It is definitely something that I believe we all took very seriously. Coming from a point of truth for myself, because I was at a young age, given away, and then having to go through many years as an adult, and then reconnecting with my biological mother. I wanted to make sure I kept my own truth, but made sure I understood that my truth isn't necessarily my mother's, and
Mm.
vice versa. I spent many years being very angry, being very bitter, and it was very hard for my brother and I, because I was sent one way and my brother was sent the other way. And it took many years for us to even reconnect, because he was sent to Jamaica and I was sent to Barbados. So
Wow.
it was just, we were sent this way. And then we didn't reconnect until we were about 12, 13 years old. So that in itself was very hard. And he and I have become like this, and my mother and I have since gotten our relationship back on track. But I wanted to make sure that in writing this story, I kept an open mind, so to speak. I didn't
Okay.
want to play the blame game. I didn't
Mhm.
want to just say it's all your fault. And because we don't always know how hard something is for someone. I can sit there and easily say, oh, she just did this and it was so easy for it. You don't know that. You know what I mean? And it took many, many, many conversations with the three of us, with the two of us, to understand um, the dynamics of what actually happened. So I wanted to make sure that I kept my identity. I wanted to make sure I kept the identity of the story separate, but I wanted to kind of put them together at the same time. I'm not sure if that's coming across the way I'm thinking in my head, but I just want to make sure that in writing the story, that the character's name is Sheila, that Sheila's story was understood, because she just found out. I wanted the people to understand that she loved her parents that raised her as if they were her parents. She didn't know anything else.
Yeah.
These were the men and women that she loved, she cherished, but now she has this new piece to the puzzle that she wants to understand, and it takes nothing away from the people that raised her. It's just
Mhm.
something that now it's like, this is something new. This is a different adventure that I would like to explore. So
Wow.
it was really, I wanted kind of to make sure I have the audience understand that there's no love lost in either direction, but we're looking for understanding. I hope that makes sense. I'm trying to make
No, it
sure I'm getting
does.
it.
Yeah. No, it makes perfect sense. I mean, again, just being able to capture the story in its entirety, but also I know for you this was probably like a healing journey. Definitely one of those real like come to Jesus moments where you have to sit down and you have to be one with yourself and say, okay, I know that it is my responsibility to deliver this role with as much care and consciousness as possible, but also to remain authentic in the process of delivering this character. And I know for you, when a story is so close to home, there could have been times where you probably battled with the script where you were like, you know what? Maybe I need to take a step back and maybe I need to like kind of process this moment for a minute before I can actually go back and be in this moment because this moment feels too real for me, even as the person that is taking on a character's identity.
It's so funny you should say that, because we recently had a table read, and I was joking with Virginia. I said, "You're not going to have me crying in this table read," because even though I did fictionalize the story, whereas it takes place on a television show, and even though my story was never publicly on display or such, but there were moments that were pretty triggering for me, and there are, even now, like even thinking about it, like it still brings up a lot of pain for me, where I'm just kind of like, you think you've healed from something and you're like, I got it, I'm good, I can do this, no problem. And then you read over a certain line or you hear a certain thing, you're like, and it's
Yep.
just like it kind of triggers it all over again. Like there were times we had a virtual table read and I had to turn my camera off. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take a break, I'm gonna take a minute, and I had to
Yeah.
come back. So yeah.
Well, listen, I commend you for your vulnerability and just even being able to step into that role because it takes a different kind of strength to tell your story and to be able to share your story with people that may or may not, understand something that you've experienced before, but also there's somebody out there that will pull inspiration from your story, and then they can see themselves in you as well as in your character. So I commend you for your vulnerability and for just taking this time out to dive into this story, for writing this story, and for embodying this character. I mean,
Thank you.
I get it. I get it. Even as a performer, there are times where I've choreographed pieces for people. It was a dedication, or I had to, perform at one of my friends' funerals, and to like literally take that step back and say, wow, like we're in this moment, but I have to deliver, in memoriam in order to celebrate my friend. So now I have to be strong, and I have to put on, my big girl face,
Hmm.
even though this moment it's breaking me, right? So I definitely understand that as a, performer as well. So this question is for you, Gigi, and I'm gonna put on my glasses. It's rough over here. It is rough. Definitely when you get older, something happens to you. So my question is, identity is at the heart of this film. The daughter is essentially asking, who am I if the person who made me chooses not to stay, right? Um, so how did you approach your producing responsibility with making sure that the story is being told from the lens of somebody else that didn't experience this story?
Well, I didn't personally, but I I can relate the pain from a different facet, like a diamond. That's why I have my crystal in my hand to give an example. It's like it's different. It's the same stone, same crystal, but when you're here, it's a different angle,
Yeah,
and the light comes in different ways. So in my childhood, I had different kind of pain. So I genuinely can feel people. I'm an empath as well, so I can genuinely feel the pain. And also, I had friends from both sides. I had a friend 20 years older than me, had to leave her daughter because they had an alcoholic husband, and she completely changed the country, and she was living in my country as a foreigner, and she had a similar story, and I never experienced from mother's side who actually chose to walk away, and how the daughter was giving reaction, and I really really witnessed her pain without even seeing her tears, me
yeah,
personally. And I also had a friend that it was exactly similar story what we are producing right now, that she was giving away to her own aunt, um and she was a very close friend of mine, for a period. So
okay,
then I know she was a beautiful soul, beautiful woman, but how much it impacted her, her relationships. And I witnessed these both worlds. And then I kind of like combine with my own pain from different experiences,
yeah,
and then just like really honoring the core of human side of this story, and also with obviously uh everyone's direction, because
yeah,
I'm more like a team member and we're sharing everything equally, but I like to I mean I'm alpha, so I don't really like to be bossed around, but in this project I like to follow more, because I really honor and respect that I'm the one actually contributing, and I try to step back if it's necessary. I think sometimes that's the secret, I guess, knowing that where to just give as much as possible and then step back as much as, because then the truth of the story and the main story can actually come to alive, because that's our goal. It's Ryder's movie. director's movie, but we are building the same for the same goal for people.
Mhm. Yeah.
Can I just add to that
Yeah.
very briefly? Um, Gigi has also been very much advocating for the film, reaching out to different organizations, reaching out to different interview journalists and different things on our behalf, because I believe she really does understand that who this is for. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, because I was like, oh, well, I don't know who might, she's like, are you kidding me? She's like, a lot of people will definitely resonate with this. Are you kidding? And she has been gung ho from like day one, jumping on board, reaching out to people, telling everyone. Like, so I think she kind of is being a little modest here, but I do want to say publicly thank you to Gigi because she has definitely
Oh my
been
god, you're gonna make me cry.
she has
Oh
been
no.
definitely spearheading, you know, really, she really truly understands people, and she really understands genuinely that it does take a team,
Yes,
and
it does.
and I'm very happy to have her on the team. I'm happy to have Virginia on the team. Virginia has been doing night and day. I You had to remind Virginia to breathe because
Because
she
Virginia
doesn't
does it all.
remember. Yeah, she
Yes.
doesn't remember, but whatever. But I love both of them very much, and but Gigi has definitely been spearheading, reaching out to everyone and just getting organizations involved and telling them about the story. So I have no doubt it's going to touch a lot of people. So I'm happy about that.
Well,
I just want to
Gigi,
say that. So,
you
Yeah,
go,
we're
girl.
just starting. We're just starting.
Yes.
And about, I want to also say that I really appreciate Virginia's approach because I'm very spiritual and like I like professionalism, but I'm
Hmm.
very spiritual and also, but I really need like straightforward direction. And I actually genuinely love working with Virginia because it's kind of like super direct, and I'm like, perfect. Okay, she knows what she wants, and I can tell her I can't do that, and she says, okay. Like she finds a solution. We don't create drama. It's like she understands. Sometimes it's really direct, and I'm like, also there's cultural difference as well, but for me,
Ah,
I feel like she's actually being direct allows me to be honest.
yes.
So we've been very honest with each other, and I think this created a perfect team. That's how I feel like.
Well, one, I'm glad that there is a safe space for you all, especially given the fact that, there is a cultural difference, right? But even though there may be, we may come from different cultural backgrounds, you would be surprised at some of the similar stories that we share culturally, right? So I am one, Gigi, I must say yes. You are you girl. And I'm saying that because it really does. It takes for that one person to believe in somebody and to remind, that person, like, listen, we got this and we're going to make it happen come hell or high water. Whatever I have to do, we're going to push this project out. So, Gigi, thank you, for even just being the vessel and for contacting me and reaching out to me and presenting this project to me, because again, it's at the end of the day, it's about building community, but it's also about helping others, because
Yes,
stories like these need to be told.
yes,
And when we don't have platforms that don't allow for stories like this to be told, it's kind of hard to, one, get the funding, for these type of stories, but also to help people that are in the same position, right, that need to hear these stories. So definitely, Lourvey and Gigi, absolutely, and Virginia, let me tell you something, Virginia, because I know you be in Cali working hard, okay? I'm talking about you are working hard. You are a director, you are a producer, and you're an educator too, right? You're an educator, and I mean, you're just pretty much an all around phenomenon. So I have to tilt my hat off to you as well. My little beanie, gotta tilt that off to you,
Mhm.
because you are stepping in as a director, and this is your first time directing a film. So I want to commend you and congratulate you for just stepping into that role. And just based off of like our interactions, I know you are very organized, you are very precise, you mean business, things have to be done this way and that way. And I respect that because my OCD is the same when I'm like, it has to be like this. But then my ADHD will kick in sometimes. And I'm like, well, wait a second, I gotta go do something real quick. So I definitely get that. I get that. Virginia, I definitely have a question for you. So adopting this story through the lens of gratitude and reunion, I know you shared your personal experience. How were you able to relate to the character, and then embody being the director for this role?
Well, I mean, for me, okay, so first, yes, I am the hard ass out the group. Like I am North New Jersey all through and through, so I can't help it. So, but I tell everybody all the time, and Lourvey knows it. I never come from a place that's not love. I am always trying to support, push, uplift, especially females, because we don't get enough of that. And so my thing is, yes, I may yell, have to take a break, I come back, I let everybody know, like, this is love. But sometimes you got to tell me too, you're being a little much, and I'll go sit down because I can be a little hot. So, but for this particular, like, I am all about the drama. I just, I was like, I told Leve, I read it, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna make everybody cry. I will hug you afterwards. I want somebody to be pissed. I like
Okay.
even when she said with the table read, I was like, well, I'm gonna need y'all to bring a little bit more emotion. I hug. We will yell, cut, give me a hug. Are you okay? Let me know if you need a minute. But oh, I'm gonna push you to the point where I see tears, where I see a little attitude come across your face, because I feel like in order, like Lervais is already directly involved in the story. But when it comes to other people and you're embodying these characters, you have to embody these characters. You have to figure out what is going on with this person. Like, and that's what I was telling Reve. Like, I understand the side from a parent point of view and the child's point of view. And that is a just a blender of emotions that goes up and down. So for me, it was like my biggest goal is to get every bit of that out while still offering the safe space to do it. And so like I'm gonna push, but I always make sure they know, tell me if you need a minute. We can go take a walk. Let's go get some sun. Because I am all about the authenticity of a role. You becoming that character. As a director, I want to, portray what the writer wants as best as possible, to keep that story. If I see where I can elevate it, I'm like, okay, well, if we do this, it brings this, and I am big on making sure that actors understand when you step into that role, you're not you, you're that person.
Yep.
So I need you to understand that you are like the our actress that's playing Rhonda, you are every mother that ever had to give away their child for whatever reason. You are every mother that has dreaded the fact that, oh, what if this person wants to meet me and I have no idea who they are? Live in that. Figure out where those emotions come from. You need stories, we will find you stories. But that's my role. Like I am like the dictator of the film with a little bit of sunshine and hugs wrapped up into it too.
Well, I can definitely. I would say this. I don't necessarily see you like as the dictator, but so much you're passionate about what you do. Like you take your craft very seriously, right? And sometimes, especially as Black women, our passion is misinterpreted as aggression, right? But when we really believe in something, we're going to fight. We are going to go hard. We are going to do whatever we need to do in order to fulfill this mission. So,
Yeah.
for you, Virginia, like I said, when we first interacted, like I already knew. I was like, oh, she about her business. Okay, she gotta get some stuff done. She's about her business. But I also know that even just interacting with you, you are a very passionate individual, and you're also a very sweet and kind individual, right? But don't take my kindness for weakness per se, but just know that I am still here to support you in this role. But we gonna get this shot. We gonna get the
Yeah,
shot. So I can respect that. I definitely respect that. Well, I listen. I must say, the film, just the overall description of the film, what you guys are working on, it sounds amazing, and this is definitely going to help somebody. It's definitely going to help somebody. But with short films comes some challenges like funding, right? And we can't do this alone, especially if we are balancing our 9 to 5s while also balancing our passion projects, or those that are just doing this and they're fully divested their time into building out this short film, but may lack funding here and there. So I know right now there is a fundraising campaign that is in the process in order to drive funding to this project. Anybody can jump in and let me know, where can we actually donate so we can continue to support these projects like this?
Definitely on Seed&Spark, we do have our campaign. We got some feedback from the, I guess you could call it the crew of Seed&Spark, that we had to revise one or two things. So we did that, and it's in the process, but it should be launched in a day or two. Fingers crossed. So definitely, please, please, please keep visiting Seed&Spark for my mother's daughter. Um, Worst case scenario, you guys just reach out to us on Instagram, and we'll let you know the updates on where you could potentially donate.
Yeah, definitely. Listen, I know for me, I am definitely going to donate something towards this project because, again, I am a strong believer in supporting women that go out of their way to make things happen for other people, to create things in order to be a vessel in the community, and also to tell untold stories, or those uncomfortable truths that we don't talk about, or the family secrets that we don't always talk about. Like, this is the time where now it's time to sit and to have these hard discussions, right? But for you, I know, let's make it cinematic, right? So people can feel a little more comfort when they're having these hard discussions. But I know this film, it's definitely going to shine light on something that may or may not be talked about in a lot of households. But now with this short film, you can then introduce the subject to people that have faced this kind of thing before, and give them the confidence to have these conversations now, right? Maybe even the confidence where if somebody never considered seeking their biological mother or father, or just knowing their story, now they're reassured and have the confidence to know that, what, maybe I should, find out my lineage and who my real mother or who my real father is, if they're alive, if they're no longer here. But even just when we think about our family lineage, just tracing our history all the way back to, where we come from, like, that would inspire some people as well to take a DNA test and to just kind of figure out, well, where is, what is my lineage? Where do I come from? Who is my great 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 grandfather, right? Because, like, even for me, my great 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 grandfather is Cuban, but you never know when you don't have these conversations, or when you have family members that are too scared, or they don't want to have these hard conversations because they feel like, well, it will shine light on some things that we now have to take responsibility for, and I want to take responsibility for that, right? So this will just open up the door for these hard conversations, but also give comfort to people that have gone through this process before. So definitely sharing your story. I can appreciate what you are doing, Lourvey, and Victoria. I mean Victoria. Oh my God, Veronica. Oh my God, I'm about to call you Veronica, Virginia, Victoria. Every wrong name under the sun.
It,
Because I haven't had my second cup of coffee. So my apologies. But
it's a lot.
Virginia.
It's a badge. I get it a lot. It's okay.
And Gigi. Gigi is easy to remember because my name is Gabrielle, so I can remember that. But ladies, I first off I want to thank you all for just taking the time out and for sharing your story. And something I always ask all of my guests before we close out the interviews. If you can impart any wisdom on any writer, producer, or director, what would you tell them? Gigi, you can go ahead and go first, and then we'll go down the line.
Well, I would say don't chase perfection, chase authenticity. It's like I feel like most powerful stories comes from vulnerability, and trust your gut and instincts, and just basically follow that, and that comfort and also the discomfort is the real direction, because that will attract the right connections. So when you really tune in, and that's so answer is always within themselves, actually, just following the truth.
And what about you, Virginia?
Um, living your truth. Like living your truth. Always remember you deserve a seat at the table, and you're supposed to be in that spot. Don't let anybody ever tell you that you're not good enough. Don't let yourself tell you that you're not good enough. Okay? When you hear someone tell you that, oh, that you did something good, understand that that's not an acknowledgement of your worth, because you are that acknowledgement, but you just take it in and you just roll with it.
Wow. And last but not least, Laura Vane.
I'm gonna just leave y'all with something that someone once told me, and when I said I wanted to start writing, and this person said to me, he said, "Well, you know, some of the best stories have never been told." He was like, "The best time to say something is when nothing is being said." And
Mhm.
so I kind of took that as to say, your story may be one of the best ones that has yet to be told. So
Yes.
nothing's being said right now, so now is the best time to say it. So that's all
It
I got.
definitely
It's not as
is. Oh my
philosophical as
God.
everybody else's, but that's
Listen,
all I
that was prolific for me. I took it in
got.
because I mean, even just sitting here on this podcast, being able to allow others in different with different cultural arts backgrounds, different creatives, different artistic entrepreneurs to be able to provide a platform for them to tell their stories because their stories haven't been told. So for me, I'm taking that in. So I can appreciate those words of wisdom because that definitely matters. It matters now more than ever. Well, ladies, you'll be surprised that how time flies by when you are having a great conversation. But where can we find you all on social media?
Well, I guess I'll start. Individually, am at I'm on Instagram at Lourvey Bourdan. And if you want to find out more about my films or things that I'm working on, it's at House on a Hill Entertainment. And then I'll let the other ladies tell you about themselves.
Yeah, Gigi.
Mine is Gigi. The Line Between Productions is my Instagram, and also it's the Line Between Productions.com is my website, and I will put the updates on my website as well.
All right.
You can find me at Masquerade Ball Productions on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. I do have a personal page too, but you can find that there. Lorvay and myself will have websites coming out soon. It's been fun. So yeah, that's about it. Like we are posting regularly with updates for the film on all of our social media. I did want to quickly clarify something because I can hear a few people yelling at me now, and I before it even get out. This is my first official directing project, not in school.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
So
haven't
I
you directed something already?
that part. So I have directed a couple of shorts that's actually on my YouTube page, but this is the first one that's not a school directing project. Yeah, because
Wow.
I said it and
Okay.
I was like, oh, I just got yelled at by a bunch of people. You know,
And my website is houseonahillentertainment.com. That's
Okay.
what.
Awesome.
it's
Awesome.
up.
Well, listen, I want to thank you all for coming on today's episode. Of course, you can always find us on Instagram at Starving Artist Development. You can also follow my personal page, Gabrielle Caruthers. That's Caruthers. We are on Facebook. We're rarely on TikTok. But, but, we're definitely on YouTube at Starving Artist Development Pod. You can also listen to today's episode on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And visit our website for updates on anything that's going on. So www.starvingartistdevelopment.com. I would like to thank you all for coming on today's episode. And I will also love to thank you all for just finding our platform all the way from Cali and from one Detroiter to my Californians. I want to send you love. And again, thank you so much for coming on today's episode of the Starter Artist Development Podcast. And we will talk to you all soon.
Thank you. Bye.